if and we'll put up the slide just to talk people through, some leadership traits, the things that you almost have to have as a guarantee is you need to be skilled. You need to be skilled in how to lead people. It's almost not non-negotiable. But yet you find people that is not skilled in it, and those skills can be obtained by different ways. You can go and study. But my experience is practical. You make mistakes as a leader. You feel bad about things that you've done, but that urges you on to do things better the whole time.
Well, and there can be the opposite one, because you have to take your experience into account, but you can't implement them like one-to-one precisely. I had the when I was in the HR, there was a situation where we were having HR briefing, and we were discussing incoming stuff for today and yesterday's interviews and so on, and where we're going. And because it was critical point that we need good employees, that's why we had these HR briefings daily. Just 15 minutes, quickly go through and just point out some key people, key interviews, and so on. So where the boss might be attending as well, and so on. So, and there was a situation where we had quite a lot of emigration from the Latvia when we had quite a big economical crisis, but it was worldwide, not just the local. So a lot of people emigrated to some other European countries, like mostly UK, Ireland, Germany, Netherlands, and so on. So, and then at some point, some of the people started to come back because it's their home country and so on. And he had experience where one potential employee, I want to come back. I'm very determined to come back. I want to live in Latvia. I'm a patriot. And so he hired that person. And after 2 months, he said, no, I'm sorry, I don't want this, and left. So that was his experience. And he implemented this experience 100% the same way next time. So I was telling, there is a guy who is having very nice experience, and I think we should hire him. He returned from UK, and now will live in Latvia. He said, I had this John, the story I just told you about. I said, no, but this guy's name is Peter.
It's a different guy.
It's a different guy. You can't implement. You learn from your mistakes, but keep open mind.
Yeah. No, obviously, and I think that is another leadership trait. So if you look at the skills that a leader must have, but he must also behave in a certain way. There's certain, almost necessities in terms of how you behave.
That's the you see, you can be book smart and you can be street smart. So if you are a good leader, you should be both.
Well, exactly. And then you also need to be understanding the situation that you're in. Now, emotional intelligence, in one of the podcasts we spoke about, different types of intelligence. So it just comes to mind that you have to be aware of what's going on, not just externally in terms of your customers, competitors, etc., but you also need to understand what's happening in the internal environment. And each situation, as you rightly said, is, you have to evaluate it and say,
especially if it's about the human.
So it's rather a process that you go through instead of just saying, well, this guy is exactly the same as that guy, etc. If you don't do that, you see, there's always the flip side of things. So if you do it, then you're not guaranteed success. But the flip side of it is if you don't do it, then you start seeing it in results, and you don't necessarily understand exactly what's going on because the results are painting a different picture. And what I often say to guys is when they tell me that they make enough profit, is when you have that conversation, you say, well, but you could have done probably more than that if you had a different approach, if you had a more sustainable approach. You probably would have been in a better competitive position by now. So yes, you're making profit, but if there's a better competitor coming out, and there's one of the things that a guy called Myron Rush is saying is, you're only going to be as strong tomorrow through the way that you actually deal with your management and your leadership within your company. So it's a simple thing. You'll be able to compete better if you know what you need to do in terms of your people, process, and technology.
Yeah, and obviously these people who are owning the companies, they don't have the term in their vocabulary. It's enough. Obviously they don't. So you want more. There are ways to get more, and unfortunately or fortunately, people are one of the main thing how to get more.